Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive here on the Real Japan podcast. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating journey, I think. We're delving into some incredible insights for anyone dreaming of exploring Japan. We've been looking at some fantastic material all about a special, maybe often overlooked, way to fly around the country. This deep dive is going to uncover how you might save money, sure, but maybe more importantly, dramatically save time getting around Japan, even compared to the famous bullet train. And trust me, you'll definitely want to stick with us right to the very end, because we'll also reveal a crucial, time-sensitive update that could really impact your travel plans. Plus, how you can get even more personalized advice for crafting your perfect Japanese adventure.
That's exactly right. For those of you looking to, maximize your time and your budget while seeing more of Japan's incredible diversity, the details we're about to explore are, well, genuinely transformative, I'd say. They really challenge some of those long-held assumptions about the best way to navigate Japan.
Absolutely. And look, you'll probably want to dive deeper into everything we talk about today. That includes direct links to book these special fairs we'll mention and explore all the related resources. So make sure you check out therealjapan.com. The link will be right there in the description. It's got the complete guide we're drawing from.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We're talking about ANA's Discover Japan Fair. For anyone who might not be familiar, what exactly is this? Who is it actually designed for?
Okay, so at its core, the ANA Discover Japan Fair is basically a deeply discounted domestic flight service. It's offered by All Nippon Airways, ANA, which is Japan's largest airline, and it's specifically created for foreign visitors to Japan. The prices are significantly lower than, say, what a local Japanese resident would pay for the same flight. The aim is pretty clear. It's designed to encourage you, the international traveler, to get out and explore Japan's diverse islands by air. It makes regions like Hokkaido, way up north, or Kyushu down south, much more accessible.
Ah, okay. So it's not just a standard ticket, it's more like a strategic tool, almost like an internal air pass. But only for visitors. Exactly. It's exclusively for travelers from outside Japan.
And it used to be called the Experience Japan Fair, right? Which kind of tells you its purpose.
Precisely. It underscores that goal to help you experience more of Japan than you might otherwise be able to.
Okay, here's where it gets, well, really interesting for me and maybe a bit eye-opening for some listeners. Japan is world famous for the Shinkansen, the bullet train. It's synonymous with speed, efficiency. But this information suggests that for longer distances, flying might actually be the better choice. How does that even work?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How can flying actually beat the super efficient Shinkansen? Well, the material we looked at gives a really compelling example that illustrates this perfectly. Imagine you're traveling from Tokyo all the way down to Nagasaki on the southern island of Kyushu.
Huh.
By Shinkansen, that journey, well, it can easily take around 8 hours. Often involves multiple transfers, too.
8 hours is a long travel day.
It is, but taking a flight
Mm-hmm.
using this ANA Discover Japan Fair shortens that travel time dramatically. You're looking at just about 2 hours in the air.
2 hours versus 8. That's huge.
It's a massive difference in how you spend your precious travel day. That's 6 whole hours you could be exploring Nagasaki instead of sitting on a train.
6 hours is monumental. But, okay, what about the whole door-to-door thing? Getting to the airport, security, waiting. Doesn't that eat into the savings? And crucially, what about the cost? Is it actually cheaper?
That's a totally valid point about the door-to-door time. You absolutely have to factor that in. Getting to Haneda or Narita from Tokyo takes time. Same for getting from Fukuoka Airport into Nagasaki City, for instance. However, even with that, for an 8-hour train journey, you're still looking at a substantial time commitment on the train itself. Think about the convenience, too. Once you're on that plane, you're covering vast distances very quickly. Compare that to the stops, maybe transfers, on a really long train ride.
Okay, fair point.
And then there's the cost. This is where things have really shifted recently. The material highlights that with the recent, quite significant JR Pass price increases,
Yeah.
a return flight using the ANA Discover Japan Fair can often be significantly more economical, especially for those really long routes like Tokyo to Kyushu or Hokkaido.
Ah, the JR Pass price hike. That was big news.
Huge. The 7-day ordinary JR Pass, which used to be the go-to for many tourists doing extensive travel, it saw a price jump of over 60% last year.
Wow.
So while it used to be almost always cost-effective, now, maybe not so much for everyone. A single round trip, say Tokyo to Nagasaki, using the ANA fare might be drastically cheaper than activating a whole 7-day JR Pass just for that one long journey,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're not planning a ton of other long-distance train rides within that week. It fundamentally changes the budget calculation for a lot of travelers.
That's incredible. So this isn't just about saving a few hours. It actually rewrites your itinerary possibilities, doesn't it? You could potentially add a remote Kyushu island or see the snow in Hokkaido into a standard week-long trip. Things that might have seemed impossible before because of the sheer travel time.
Exactly. This fare can transform multi-island exploration from a sort of luxury item into a practical reality for many more people.
Right. So if we're seriously considering flying, what are some of the key details about this fare? Like, what are we looking at for pricing? And super important, where can you actually go with it?
Okay, what's interesting here is that ANA has moved to dynamic pricing for this fare, which means, prices can fluctuate based on demand when you book the season.
Like regular airline tickets?
Pretty much.
Right.
But the information gives us some typical starting points for one-way economy class fares, including taxes and surcharges, and honestly, they're remarkably affordable. For example, a flight from Tokyo up to Sapporo in Hokkaido starts from around, say, $88. Tokyo to Osaka, a really popular route, can be as low as $70.
$70. That's very competitive.
It really is.
Yeah.
Tokyo down to Fukuoka in Kyushu typically starts around $94, and a trip from Tokyo to tropical Okinawa, maybe around $85 to $95.
Those prices are genuinely compelling. But with dynamic pricing, is there a strategy? How do you get those lower rates? And does it really cover, like, most of Japan?
Well, the advice is pretty standard for dynamic pricing. Book as far in advance as possible, especially if you're traveling on popular routes or during peak times like cherry blossom season or golden week. Prices definitely tend to climb closer to the departure date.
Okay, book early. Got it.
Think of it like booking your international flights. The earlier you lock it in, the better your chance of snagging those really good fares. And yes, coverage is huge. The fare gives you access to flights across ANA's massive domestic network. We're talking over 50 airports throughout Japan. This includes all the main islands: Hokkaido, Honshu, Kyushu, Okinawa, and Shikoku. All the major hubs: Sapporo, Tokyo, both Haneda and Narita airports, Osaka, Nagoya, Fukuoka, Okinawa, they're all accessible. It truly connects the entire country by air, making those diverse multi-region itineraries much more feasible for you.
Okay, beyond the routes and the price, are there other practical benefits, things that make flying more appealing? Like, what about baggage or the experience on board?
Yeah, there are a couple of significant ones. First, the free baggage allowance. It uses what's called the PEACE system, which is typically the same system used for international flights.
Oh, not the weight system.
Usually not. This means you often get to check one or maybe even two bags, each up to a standard weight limit, like 23 kilograms or 50 pounds, which is generally much more generous than the stricter weight limits or single bag rules you often find on standard Japanese domestic flights.
That's a big plus if you're buying souvenirs or just traveling heavy.
Absolutely. And the other point the material makes is about the service quality. Flying with Japanese airlines like ANA or JAL generally offers a noticeably higher standard of in-flight service compared to many international rivals, even in economy. You often find a higher level of hospitality, more attention to detail. It can make the travel day just feel a bit nicer.
Okay, this sounds incredibly appealing, especially for covering those long distances efficiently. But, with such great benefits, there's usually a catch, right? Who exactly is eligible to use this Discover Japan fare?
That's a really critical question, eligibility. And yes, there are specific conditions you absolutely must meet. First, you have to reside outside of Japan. That's key.
Okay, non-resident.
Second, you need to hold a passport issued by any country other than Japan. Or, there's a small exception. If you are a Japanese passport holder, you must have proof of permanent residency outside of Japan. Your passport details are required when you buy the ticket.
Gotcha. Passport from another country or Japanese passport with foreign residency.
And the third main condition: you must hold international flight tickets confirming your entry into and departure from Japan. This fare is only applicable for your stay within Japan, using those international tickets as proof. They'll ask for your international reservation code or ticket number when you purchase the domestic flights.
Okay, so it's definitely geared towards international tourists who are already flying into and out of Japan. Makes sense. Are there any other booking requirements or limitations people should know about when planning?
Yeah, a few things. You can make reservations up to 355 days before you fly, which is great for planning way ahead. Tickets can be bought via the ANA website for countries outside Japan or through ANA offices or maybe travel agents abroad. But, and this is important, there are limited seats available at this special fare.
Ah, okay. So not guaranteed on every flight.
Exactly. It might not be available on all dates or all flights, especially during busy times like cherry blossom season or Golden Week or New Year. Also, there's no wait listing. If it's not available, it's not available. And you can't use this fare to book premium class seats. It's for economy only.
Yeah.
Oh, and mileage accrual, how many frequent flyer miles you earn that can vary depending on the specific booking class you get with the fare. So if miles are important to you, double check that.
Right. Limited seats, no wait list, economy only, check mileage, good things to know. Now,
Yeah.
this has all been great info, but there's that critical update you mentioned earlier, the one from the material that listeners absolutely need to be aware of. This is a big heads up, right?
Yes, indeed. This is really vital for planning, especially if you're thinking about a trip a bit further down the line. ANA has announced that these specific Japan domestic fares, the ones applicable to flights boarding up to May 18th, 2026, they will be closed for new bookings, ticketing, and even boarding on that exact date, May 18th, 2026. It's a hard cutoff.
Whoa, okay, May 18th, 2026. So what does that actually mean for someone planning a trip, say, for summer 2026 or beyond? Does it basically mean this Discover Japan fare is disappearing?
It strongly suggests a major change. Yes, it could mean it's disappearing or maybe being replaced by something else entirely. The key thing is any ticket bought under this current program for flights up to May 18th, 2026, it cannot be used for reservation changes or flights boarding on or after May 19th, 2026, even if the ticket hasn't technically expired yet.
So you can't change your flight to a later date past that cutoff.
Correct. Refunds will be available before the ticket's expiration date if you bought it via the ANA website. But yeah, this isn't just a minor tweak. It signals a potential end or significant restructuring of this specific program. Why? Could be many reasons. Increased domestic demand, maybe a new competitive strategy, a shift in focus as tourism fully rebounds. We don't know for sure yet. But the bottom line is if you're planning for League 2026 or 2027, you really need to monitor the situation closely. Check ANA's website for the latest updates.
That is genuinely a huge piece of news. Wow, a really important heads up for anyone planning longer term. So if this specific ANA fare isn't available after May 2026, or maybe it doesn't suit someone's plans even now, are there any alternatives mentioned in the material? Other ways to get discounted domestic flights?
Yes, thankfully there's another major option. The material points directly to Japan Airlines, JAL. JAL offers a very similar discounted domestic flight deal for international visitors. It's called the JAL Japan Explorer Pass. The recommendation is clear. Compare the two programs. Look at ANA's Discover Japan fare, while it lasts in its current form, and JAL's Japan Explorer Pass. See which one offers better routes, prices, or conditions for your specific travel needs. Both major Japanese carriers clearly want to help international tourists explore beyond the usual Tokyo-Kyoto route.
Okay, so JAL Japan Explorer Pass is the main alternative to check out. Good to know. And remember, for all the details on both these options, including links and current info, make sure you visit therealjapan.com. You'll find everything we're discussing today, plus so much more that can genuinely help you plan an amazing trip. So we've explored the ANA Discover Japan fare pretty deeply. We've seen how it can be a game changer for speed and maybe even cost. But the material we've been referencing also goes beyond just flights, doesn't it? It offers a broader, more sort of holistic perspective on planning an entire trip.
It really does. And this connects back to that bigger picture of creating a truly meaningful and memorable travel experience, not just ticking off sites. The author of this material, Rob, he specializes in, getting off the beaten track. He helps independent travelers craft itineraries that really balance those iconic, must-see sites with more authentic, deeper local experiences. He gets that many visitors want to go beyond the standard tourist routes and really immerse themselves.
I get beneath the surface a bit.
Exactly. It's about getting practical advice and unique suggestions you might not easily find elsewhere.
And he even offers personalized concierge services. It sounds like he really helps people connect with Japan in a more unique way.
He does, yeah. His services can help you build a completely tailor-made itinerary based on your specific interests. He can help arrange unique artisan experiences, maybe giving you private access to see Japan's incredible craftspeople at work. He offers curated accommodation recommendations, not just generic lists, but places suited to your needs and budget, and basically provides expert assistance to bring all your travel ideas to life. The goal is really to save you potentially countless days of research and planning, and to help you discover experiences beyond just booking flights and hotels.
It sounds like it's about crafting a journey, not just a trip.
That's a great way to put it. Connecting you with the Japan you've always dreamed of discovering. Maybe that's local festivals, hidden onsen towns, specific regional food.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So it's not just about the logistics, like flights, but the entire experience. And the material also lists a whole range of recommended travel resources covering pretty much everything, right?
Absolutely, it's very comprehensive. From finding international flights with Skyscanner to booking different types of accommodation, Booking.com, Hostel World, finding cultural experiences via Wabunka, getting official rail passes if you still need them through jrpass.com, staying connected with mobile SIM cards or Ninja Wi-Fi portable hotspots, even car rentals for exploring those more off-the-beaten-path areas. It really is a fantastic guide to navigating Japan effectively.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you, the listener, planning that dream trip to Japan? Well, whether you're now considering the sheer speed and potential cost savings of flying over the train for those longer distances, or you're simply looking for the most efficient ways to hop between Japan's incredible diverse islands, the ANA Discover Japan Fair offers a really compelling option, at least in its current form, until that May 2026 date we discussed. It definitely encourages us to think beyond the default, maybe the bullet train isn't always best answer, and consider all the smart tools available for efficient and hopefully incredibly enriching travel.
And this brings up, I think, an important question for you to consider. How will you take these insights? Insights about strategic air travel, about balancing those famous sites with authentic immersion, using comprehensive planning resources. How will you combine all that with your own personal travel dreams to uncover your Japan? Both the hidden gems and the iconic highlights. Because that ability to quickly navigate the archipelago by air really does open up so many possibilities. It lets you potentially experience so much more of Japan's incredible diversity in one trip from Hokkaido's snow to Okinawa's beaches.
That's a fantastic thought to leave everyone with. And honestly, we've barely scratched the surface today of all the amazing travel tips and experiences out there for Japan. We really hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into unlocking more of Japan. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, please do visit therealjapan.com for the complete guide we talked about. It has all the links to book those special fares, explore alternatives like the JAL Japan Explorer Pass, and check out all those other resources. And while you're there, definitely consider subscribing to Rob's Japan Travel Bulletin newsletter. You get more great free content delivered right to your inbox every 2 weeks. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into something new and fascinating.